The reason I'm standing around in this graveyard at, well, almost night is I'm waiting for a ghost to show up and kill me, because I thought that would make a good intro. I might light this place up so it's a little easier for... Oh, there he is, look, oh, he's just spooking me up first. Oh, now he's got me. Okay, anyway, like this video if you enjoy it. Let's get into the Let's Play. So if you've seen my recent video, you know that I've been playing around with the Ice and Fire Dragons mod, and I realized that there are so many crazy other mobs in this mod that I really want to play around with and discover, like dragons, for instance. So I decided to load up a single-player survival world. And I started by, of course, murdering some chickens. I actually broke some grass and got some seeds, which really helped me and made me feel like a monster. And then I did something no Minecrafter has ever done before. I gathered some wood and I made myself some basic tools. And I gathered my worldly possessions and I set out into this new world. I got some stone and some coal along the way, and then as I kept exploring, I saw something in the distance. It looked like a graveyard, so I approached with caution. As you can see, I was looking all around if something was going to attack me, and I had no idea what to expect, so I decided to murder some sheep before I went in and set my spawn so I could get back easily. I was afraid something was going to attack me if I broke this wall, so I gathered some dirt instead. I set my spawn, and I used the dirt to parkour over the wall. Now, there's some pretty cool stuff inside the graveyard, like there's that skull you saw over there, some cobwebs, so I immediately gathered the skull, gathered the wither rose, and peeked inside the crypt. I knew something was going to happen if I opened that chest, but I grabbed this skull as well, and I got myself back over that wall feeling kind of safe. I was still very cautious and I got spooked by that sheep down the hill. So I got some food cooking for myself, lit up my area nice and safe, and for whatever reason I really wanted some of that dirt that was in the graves, because I'd never seen it before. I thought it was kind of like soul sand, but when I picked it up it turns out it's called graveyard soil, and it doesn't really seem to have a use other than, I guess, decoration. It's kind of an ugly block, but I gathered it all, and I also yoinked this spruce door because spruce is good. And then as soon as I started getting stuff from the chest, something started attacking me. It was this freaking ghost. He was so, like, smug, and he kept doing this wavy arm thing at me, and it was really unsettling, but finally I got him, and I felt like whatever I'd been waiting to happen had happened. But I didn't open the chest again, I just straight up broke it. And then I'd read that if you combine 3 manuscripts, you get this bestiary book. So I took a look at the introduction. It started by telling me about some of the new ores in this world, such as silver, which can be turned into some pretty cool looking armor and tools. It also seems that there's a new sapphire ore, which can be found in snowy biomes, and that you can actually stack gold and silver in piles on the floor, which is pretty cool. And the only way to find more information about mobs and items is by crafting a lectern. And once I have a lectern, I can combine more manuscript pages with this bestiary to gain more information. Well, with this exciting new discovery and the exciting new iron from the chest, I put it to good use in some tools, and I started gathering some vines and some mossy cobblestone that you'll see I'll be using in some decoration later on. And then I picked up my sorry camp and I started moving again. I figured it was about time I got myself into a cave. I started by lighting things up and I found out that it was about 2 blocks long, so I got some ores that were in the cave, including this copper ore, which I set to smelting first. And then I tried to use this chest to store my items, and I forgot that it was the chest that spawned the ghost. So I had to deal with this guy before I could get anything else done, and he was waving his arms at me again, but I managed to get him, and I decided that this was a very bad chest. Very bad. I threw it down into this hole, never to be thought of again. So I crafted up a nice normal chest, threw some stuff in it I didn't need, and then I got another upgrade for my tools. Plus, I crafted up an upgrade for my body to protect me from those ghosts, and then I grabbed a couple items to take with me as I headed down to diamond level. Eventually I broke into this little cave, so I decided to go exploring down it, seeing what I could find. And what I could find at the end was a skeleton spawner. But I had to deal with these guys first before I could get to it, and they almost did me in. I thought eating food was the best idea at this point, got down to 1 heart, but then I remembered I had a bed, and I set my spawn point right behind me in case the worst happened. And somehow I managed to hold these guys off. There was one more bugger waiting for me at the spawner, but I took care of him pretty easily, and then I got to looking in these chests. There was a Sharpness 4 book, which was so good, as well as a name tag, and some more manuscripts in the next chest. And then I gathered all of this sweet, sweet mossy cobble that I went to build with. Then I found this cave that led right to diamond levels, so I started mining away, I found some gold, and then this branch of iron and coal led me right to diamond, and as I dug it out, it was one stupid block. So I dug another tunnel, I kept chugging away, and behind this redstone, I found more diamonds! And this time it wasn't just one, it was 4, but still a respectable amount for the little time I spent mining. Content for now and inventory full, I made my way back up to the surface and started smelting my treasures, and I was so eager to make this bestiary lectern, so I did. And it turns out it takes 3 manuscripts to get a new section of knowledge. So I put in my book, and I opted for the Undead, since that seemed to fit my travels today. Now I expected to find information on graveyards and ghosts like I had encountered, but this was nothing like that. This talked about mausoleums that were located in the coldest reaches of the overworld, and the dread licks and dread thralls that inhabited them. Dread ghouls, dread beasts, dread scuttlers, and all of these monsters seem to drop dread shards, which can be used to craft decoration blocks, and it seems the only way inside is by defeating a dread lick, which will drop a dread key. That's a lot of dread. Content with the information I had gathered, I broke my lectern, which dropped 3 more manuscripts, which is definitely not a mechanic I would exploit. I picked up as much of my cave existence as I could, and I went looking for a place to live. I really love this dark oak forest I spawned in, and there's these birch cliffs across the way that I think will be the perfect place to settle. So I started clearing some land, and I made the unsettling discovery that I had settled right on top of a graveyard. Were they really that common to spawn, or was I cursed? So it's been a while since I've talked to you guys. I've been gathering a lot of materials for my starter base, and I found 8 more diamonds while I was mining, but I've been waiting to say hello to my downstairs neighbors until I was recording. So I headed down into the graveyard, I gathered my materials I wanted, and I stupidly opened the chest instead of just breaking it. I thought I could get everything out, I guess, before he started attacking me, but he just, destroyed me, which is, pretty embarrassing. You can see him at the side of the hill trying to get up to me as I'm trying to fall asleep. But the next morning, I headed back down, tried to replace the mossy cobblestone I had took, but ended up throwing my shovel at him because he freaked me out so bad. And I got him back, like how he got me. And then I threw his stupid chest off of the side of a cliff! And you know how I said I got more diamonds? Well, I got myself a nice axe upgrade as well as a pickaxe upgrade, and I really wanted to use that sharpness book on my brand fancy new axe. So, I made myself a sweet little anvil, and I did just that. Her name is, Whack Whack, if you are wondering. One of the materials my starter base requires is wool, so I started by building this little sheep pen ready to collect some sheeps. I set off all the way behind my house to gather some friends. I made more cow friends than I did sheep friends, but all are welcome, I suppose. But I need more sheep! So I went off and I found this burning forest before I found some more sheep. There's one that I had shorn previously, and I managed to persuade him and his friend to come along with me. We met this 3rd gentleman along the way, and we thought, why not? But then things got tricky. I took them up this hill I shouldn't have because it didn't connect to my base, so I lost one of them, and it was getting dark and I was getting panicked, so there was a beautiful water birth at sunset, and I ran all the way back to my bed and slept away the night. And then in the morning we all remembered each other, and I got them up the hill and into my pen with minimal difficulty, and my sheep adventure was thus concluded. I need a lot of white blocks for this build, so I went off to a mountain and started gathering some snowballs for some snow blocks, and on my travels I discovered a swamp, and you know, I'm a sucker for lily pads and for blue orchids, the best flower in the game. But in the swamp, I found this ruined nether portal, so I went up and I gathered the gold, and really they had nothing good in the chest. But it gave me the chance to gather some magma blocks I could use for a future water elevator. So as I continued to explore this swamp, I found another graveyard, and I was ready to make new mistakes. I found this silverfish, and I threw my pickaxe at it. I was so panicked. I did not know they spawn sometimes, but I had at least learned my lesson when it came to the chest, so I broke it, and I broke out of there. Another one of the blocks I need for this build is black stone, so I got myself some water and I got to that open lava pool I had seen earlier. Then all there was to do was gather some obsidian, get myself some flint and steel, and head on to that spooky dimension. I ended up in a pretty good spawn, although there was no black stone in sight where I ended up, so I kept on adventuring on until I found a basalt delta, and I worked my way over to where there was some nice blackstone for me to gather. And on my way back to the portal, I felt compelled for some reason to taunt this pigman. Hey, how does it feel to see me eat the flesh of your people? Huh? That's what I thought. And after that strangely morbid interaction, I saw some soul sand at the edge of this lava lake, so I decided to grab it. As I said, I am planning on building a water elevator at some point. And then I got the heck out of here. So as you can see, now my chest of materials is pretty much full and ready to go to start building the starter base. So, let's go! So I just finished the base of this build. I just added a spruce plank floor and some lanterns to this level. And let me get a little further away from it here so we can see what it looks like from a distance. Aha! Not too bad so far. That's gonna look really good with the tower part I'm going to add on top of it. Let's get back to work. And here's our zoomed out rendition with the next level attached. Not too bad. So I haven't told you guys too much about what this starter base actually is, and what I'm going for is a magical observatory. Now obviously it's still pretty bare bones for now, I still have all of my stuff in this basement level, but as we go up you'll see that there's this observatory sort of watching balcony all the way around this base of this tower, and then we have this huge interior space that I might divide into two, honestly. But it's this top floor that's my favorite. This is where our magical telescope lets out, where we can come and view anything in the land that's capturing our attention. In fact, I think it's giving us an image right now. That's right, what our magical telescope has to show us today is our own observatory tower. I'm so happy with how this came out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next magical episode. Bye-bye!